it's time to solve this puzzle. And remember, this rectangle has two different sides of differing length. We are going to solve the side that's shorter first and use that function. First though, we have to give our function a name. You can call your function anything, but it should be nice and descriptive. So I'm going to call it solve shorter side. Okay, so once again, start with a lowercase s, solve shorter side. Okay, solve shorter side. And how do you solve the shorter side? You're going to get blue to move forward, collect gem, move forward again, toggle the switch, and move forward one more time. Okay, that's enough to solve the shorter side, right? Move forward, collect gem, move forward, toggle switch, move forward again. We're not actually going to ask blue to turn left because when you're solving the longer side, you also want blue to be facing forward. Remember what you said about preconditions and postconditions? In this case, the function precondition is that blue is facing a side where there is a gem on the second square and a toggle on the third square. And the postcondition is that blue is still facing the same direction after the function ends. Okay, let's run this code. Wait a minute, nothing happened. And that's to be expected because you wrote down all the instructions on a piece of paper and you took them with you. You never gave these instructions to blue. You never asked blue to run these commands. Okay, so in order to run the commands, you actually have to say solve shorter side. Okay, I have now called the function, so I'm going to try this out. I'm going to press run my code, and blue is going to pick up the gem, okay, toggle the switch, and move forward, and be done. Okay, so we now know for a fact that solve shorter side works, and that's important because if you're going to use this function again and again, you should really make sure that the function is behaving properly before you use it again somewhere else. All right. So now we have this handy little function called solve shorter side that can do a whole bunch of stuff. And we no longer need to think about its contents for now. We're going to use this as a way to just solve this stretch, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to try and use that as a building block for our entire solution. This is a computational thinking concept called abstraction, right? You take a whole bunch of things and then you just smoosh them into something where you can call it as a single function. Okay, so here we are. Blue is facing forward after having finished solving the shorter side. We want blue to turn left. As you can see over here, I have faced blue so that I can be sure that he's supposed to turn left. So let's do that. Turn left. And the moment he turns left, we can kind of tell that blue can now do solve shorter side. And he will end up on this tile when he's done. Correct? So let's call our solve shorter side function again. And we know that he'll end up on this tile. What do we do after that? We just want him to move forward and turn left again. So move forward and turn left again. Okay, so this is great because instead of having these 5 commands be here and here as well, our solution is shortened so that it's only 5 lines long rather than the 13 that it would have been. Okay, so let's run our code quickly so that we can see this in action. All right, go blue, go blue. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so good stuff, right? I just want to show you one more time. Instead of run faster, I want to show you with step through my code. Right, let's see what it looks like when you step through my code. So solve shorter side is going to jump into this function and go run through the entire function one step at a time. Okay, and then when it's done, it exits to the next line. And when it hits solve shorter side again, it's going to go through those steps one more time. So that's the control flow of the program. We don't actually get to visualize this most of the time, but in Swift Playgrounds, you can by using step through your code. Okay, now if we orient our world properly, right, if you look very carefully, this looks a lot like how the first half of the puzzle was being solved, right? Your puzzle is actually symmetrical, and you can actually use the exact same 5 lines of code over here to solve your puzzle. Okay, And all you need to do is to repeat it one more time. So you have two options. You could just copy and paste these 5 lines of code, or you could write a for loop. So I'll show you that particular solution. So if I go here, I put in a for loop, and the for loop is somewhere down here. Let me see if I can find. And let me just type out the for loop. For I in 1 dot 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 2, open curly brace. And let's drag this curly brace down to contain all these 5 lines. And I think we're done. So let's do a run faster through my code and see if that works. There we go. Right, it's Blue is well on its way to solving our puzzle. Fantastic, right? You used a loop to solve this puzzle. What a surprise, says Swift Playgrounds. You've become a coding wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you in the next video.